Hey guys, welcome back to the Launch Your Real Life podcast, where we talk about how to achieve financial independence from our parents and families and strike out on our own at the right time and with intention. And I want to help you be intentional, strategic, and generous with your financial resources, whatever phase of the journey you might be in. And speaking of phases, we've been talking the last few episodes about what I call the 5 phases of independence. And remember, these are just to help give verbiage to what is often an unclear stage of life for a young person. Um, and so, if I was to help you one on one or coach you or give advice, I would be asking you questions to get to the heart of where you are, so that I can know how best to help you. That's why we're going over these. Um, Forgive the skipping of last week. It was Thanksgiving week, so I took a little break. Also, was not feeling great. Still got a little bit of a cough, but hopefully, I'll be able to get through um, clearly this episode because I didn't want to go another week. And we are on the final phase 5. Now, as an airplane goes overhead, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I do want to just briefly touch on the other phases. Go back and listen to those episodes if you haven't. Um, because even if they don't apply to you, they could apply to somebody you know, and they might find it helpful. So, phase 1 is before you have any kind of job or earned income. So, this is before job, before earned income. And I wanted to make this phase 1 because I want, especially people around the younger side who are maybe interested in personal finance or are looking in the next year or two to graduating from high school. Um, I wanted to give voice to that phase and let you know it's okay to just be learning all you can about personal finance. There's lots of great resources if that's you. I hope you'll keep listening to this podcast. Uh, Listen to the Money Guy Show, Dave Ramsey. Just get yourself some good, sound financial advice. There are a lot of wackos out there. And then, so to be in phase 1, you do not have earned income, but you are learning, and maybe at the right time, you are starting to look for a job, right? So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is you enter phase 2 when you actually have earned income, even if that's just a small part-time job, a side hustle. You actually are going out and working and bringing in some income that you can actually control. So with that income, uh, it to be in phase 2, you have that income, and you have a simple budget that includes 10% generosity, hopefully in the form of a tithe to the church that is pouring into you currently. Um, and between you and your parents or your guardians or whoever, work it out to where you have one financial, excuse me, one financial responsibility that they would be taking care of that you are now going to take care of. Maybe that's gas for your car. Maybe that's your cell phone bill. It doesn't have to be big, but I want you to have a budget that includes one financial responsibility and a percentage going to a tithe or at the very least generosity of some kind, right? That's phase 2. Phase 3 is the phase where actually maybe you're earning more income, or maybe you've moved out to a dorm or something and you have more autonomy. Um, and so you are slowly taking on more of the financial responsibilities. So instead of just maybe your gas for your car, you actually take on your car payment, your car insurance, and your gas. And all through phase 3, you are going to be adding excuse me, I'm sorry. You are going to be adding um, those expenses to your plate, slowly, hopefully, slowly transitioning them away from your parents so that, again, your parents know that there's momentum towards you being independent. You start to feel gradually the weight of the responsibility in a way that you can handle. hopefully. And again, I know that not everybody gets the luxury of a phase 3. Sometimes people go straight from phase 2 to phase 5, and there's not really a chance to prep. But if you do have that chance, really take advantage of it. And speaking of that, phase 4 is also a luxury phase, because phase 4 is when you have the financial resources to be supporting yourself, whether that's with 3 roommates or what have you, but you could actually move out and be independent on your own, taking care of your financial responsibilities. That's phase 4. So that is when you could be independent, but you are choosing by mutual agreement with your parents to stay and achieve some launch goals, what I call launch goals. And that might be saving up 3 to 6 months of expenses for an emergency fund, or it could just be saving up enough for a deposit, right? First and last month's rent. It could be saving up for a wedding. Maybe you got a marriage on the way, and you're saving money so that you can help cover that wedding cost. But the point is that you have something that tangible that you are working towards, that you could hopefully achieve in 6 months or a little bit longer than that. Right. So that's phase 4. So of course, phase 5 is going to be the phase where you actually launch, right? You are actually out on your own. And again, by on your own, I don't mean by yourself. You could have roommates, and hopefully probably will have roommates if you're not married, just for the sheer sake of it's a huge financial boost if you can split rent with others instead of taking it on. Sorry about that. Uh, Long day. I apologize. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to split rent, um, I hope you take advantage of that if that's the right time of life for you to do that. Um, and here's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind while you are actually living out on your own. First, make sure you know what the next couple of goals, financial goals, are for you. And so, in that, think financial order of operations if you're familiar with the money guys, or if you've heard me talk about that before, or what more people are familiar with, the Ramsey baby steps. And basically, it's just a like I'm laying out the phases of independence. Well, these guys have laid out roadmaps for what to do with your next dollar, right? So, starter just in general overview, starter emergency fund, um, uh, a starter emergency fund, investing in the match, paying off debt, and building a full emergency fund and investing for the future, things like that. And there's a couple of different philosophies on um, what to do with your next dollar, but they're very similar. And the important part is to know what is right for you and what you can get on board with, and then go after it, gung ho. Right. So know your goals, your financial goals, because you don't want to stagnate. Just because you got out on your own, you don't want to lose the forward motion. Right. Also, uh, I want you to think about what your generosity purpose is. So up until now, we've talked about, including a tithe to your church in your budget, right? Which is a key part of all these phases. Um, and I think that should be, baseline. um, and I want us to be a people who do more and go above and beyond that. And I think that actually, it seems like the research actually shows that being a generous person actually benefits you just as much as it benefits the world around you. And so by generosity purpose, What I'm talking about is what causes are important to you. Is there a charity or just a cause that is important to you? For me in my business, such as it is so far, as much as it's still getting off the ground, I already have money set aside that is meant for the Metroplex Women's Clinic here in Arlington, that I want to give a portion of my business earnings to, right? Because that is a cause that resonates with me. Am I still tithing to my church first of all of my household income? Of course. Uh, and on top of that, I have other things, other ways I want to be generous. I have missionaries and people who are in the mission field who we support monetarily. Our old the group we met in, the ministry that we met in, Glowing Heart. That's another cause we like to support. So find something and find something that really resonates with you, and that you can get involved in even beyond financially, and make a point to be that generous, because go that extra mile, because, like I said before, it actually does have a good effect on us, including just general happiness. Um, it makes work better when we know we're working and our work is contributing to something valuable that is important to us, right? And it also, giving away money actually helps keep at bay the hold that money can have over us when we let it kind of take over our lives with the things that we want, right? We can kind of fight that by giving away our money. So generosity, purpose, what gets you excited and motivated to change the world around you. And then make sure that during this whole thing, you have a community that you can actually plug into that makes this all worthwhile. Because what if you have a really stable financial life, but you're living it alone, right? Without a community? That would be sad. So I hope that you will make a priority to stay plugged into a church. Hopefully, if church isn't your thing, find a group, find people who can encourage you, who can cheer you on, and make life fun to live, right? So those are just some things to keep in mind with phase 5. Phase 5 goes into, well past the launch. So if you are already there, you might have launched without a lot of these good foundational things that we're going to be talking about. And I hope you will stick around and get those things. And if you're already in a situation, if you've already made some choices that have got you in a precarious financial situation, I hope you'll reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work together, and let me help you get on the right path, get some of those basics down, and get a system in place that helps you actually live that life of purpose and generosity that I hope you desire. So thank you guys for bearing with me with my voice, as I can feel it going. I hope that you will come back next week, where hopefully I'll have a stronger voice. And I'm really excited to have got all these phases out and expressed into the world. It's going to help me communicate with you, and I'm excited to explore some real practical steps for each of these phases in going forward. So, yeah, I hope you'll reach out and say hi. There's some links down below in the description, wherever you're listening to this. And yeah, I'm really excited about the things coming up for the new year. So, with that said, thank you so much. And I will see you guys and talk to you guys next week.